This is the easiest way you can make your Go High Level website responsive on both mobile and tablet. So stay till the end of this video because this will be a lifesaver for many. We'll start with this very simple Go High Level website page, which I color coded. So green represents a section, blue represents a row, pink represents a column, and orange represents a random element. Then if we go into the custom CSS, this right here represents the entire framework that you need in order to make your Go High Level websites responsive. This right here, and this one, and this one, and so on, are called breakpoints. Screen widths where your layout will shift. And those here are the exact same ones that even Go High Level uses. So let's take this website for example. Currently we are at 1100 and something pixels. This width represents basically the desktop mode. But if you go up until 767, which by the way is the breakpoint, and you'll see that if you go below that, the layout shifts. Especially here, that's why I added two columns side by side. Two columns side by side will stay up until 767. What's below that, as you can see, they will be vertically aligned. If you want to modify the layout, you need to make changes below that breakpoint. And the next breakpoint, just look at these margins right here, or paddings, it will be at 481. But I can't really show it because we didn't add any margins or paddings or whatever. So let's quickly add, let's say 40 pixels left margin, and let me just show you. As you can see, when we go under 481, we go into the mobile mode for the website builder. But the Go High Level website builder has a problem. You cannot modify things in the UI from 481 up until 767. So that's why we are going to use this framework right here. I already added some classes, for example, section 1, column 1, row 1, and whatever, so it will be easier for you to follow. So let's start with this. Max width 767 pixels. This means that whatever class we add here will be applied for a maximum width of 767 pixels. So let's try with row 1. Because Go High Level already has classes applied to individual sections and columns and rows and so on, we need to override them. How do we do that? We specify two classes for the same element. And if we add, so dot row 1 dot c row is the default Go High Level class for rows. So basically this one will be more powerful than the default c row class that Go High Level uses. So this will allow us to overwrite the Go High Level settings and classes and CSS and so on. And then we add a space and we also address this class, the inner one. And here we want to modify the flex direction and we are going to change it to row. And you'll see in just a second what this does. Let's also add important and let's also copy it because I will use it later. So you probably guessed what this does. It will allow us to change the direction of the columns. As you can see, we can now have two columns side by side, even for tablet, and of course for mobile as well. Because I changed this to row 2 because it was the second row, because this will be applied for a maximum of 767. Obviously above that Go High Level already handles it, but now we basically have two columns side by side for absolutely all resolutions, which is really useful, especially when you want to create some sliders and so on. But if you only want the columns to be displayed horizontally, only for desktop and tablet, you just move this from here to here. and this will basically be applied for a mean width of 481 and a maximum width of 767. So let me just show you this. So basically for mobile you have the columns vertically aligned, then when you go into iPad mode you have the columns side by side all the way to desktop included. And you'll see that paddings, this is a very important topic, because Go High Level lets you, as I said earlier, adjust the paddings for desktop and for mobile, but you cannot adjust the paddings for iPad. As you can see, when we go into iPad, we don't have any margins, we don't have anything here, especially since we already added a very big margin to our element for mobile. So how do we do that? So let's say we want a maximum width of 767 pixels and we want to add some paddings and margins. For sections, let's add section. The class that you want to use in order to add a double class and override the default Go High Level settings is C section. And then you add padding right 20 pixel important. Let's do this. Let's also add a comma here. Then for rows, row 1 dot C row. You learned that earlier. And then we have column 1 with a dot, of course, dot C column. So it's very easy to understand. Section is C section, row is C row, and column is C column. And this way you can apply paddings for absolutely all the sections. Of course, this has to be the same class. As you can see here, I added column 1. This is column 1. You also need column 2, column 3, and whatever classes you want to use for your elements. But this is exactly how you can add margins and paddings for absolutely all resolutions, and you can play around with them depending on where you want that padding to be displayed. So now if we save and preview, you'll see that this will change, as you can see, for iPad, and they will be the same for mobile as well. Of course, on mobile we have a different orientation currently, but yeah, and on desktop, obviously, you'll use the default Go High Level settings that you set using this one, the desktop mode. And of course, you can also have the mobile mode. You can set the margins here, but then you will have all these in here. This is basically for tablet. And by the way, this is how you add a comment. Very easy. Minimum width 481. Maximum width 767 pixels. Very easy framework that you can implement today into your Go High Level website to make it responsive on multiple screens. If you want to build websites with sections that are already optimized for all resolutions, then you can check out my Go High Level website library by clicking the first link in the description. And if you're curious to see exactly how I build the expensive looking Go High Level websites very fast in 2026, then watch this video right here.